Yo, here we go. Here we go. Welcome to another episode of The Insiders with First Down Magazine on the First Down Magazine. I guess you
Let's
could say
go.
podcast with the YouTube page.
Yeah,
Don't
we're
forget to
back with the
subscribe.
OG
And
duo.
most definitely, we started this thing. Right?
Yes, sir.
Hey, thank you guys for tuning in. David D, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'm well excited for this episode. How about you?
I'm excited. Whenever I get to talk to this guy, I get excited. I don't want to waste any more time. So let's go ahead and let's bring in Mr. One Way himself, Mr. Jadrian Clark. What's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
Man, pleasure to be here with you guys. I see you got a number 18 jersey behind you. It's the wrong 18, but we'll live with it. Connor's my guy too.
wrong number, wrong color. Shout out to Connor Miller, though. Shout out to another Floridian, so to say.
That's right, man. Florida takeover.
Yeah,
We're taking over all of Europe.
Most definitely. Hey, obviously, we could dive right into it. Everything in regards to like your background is well documented and stuff like that. Now you're with the Nordic Storm, new franchise, team number 16, the team up north, fresh hoodie. What's been the best part about being part of the new franchise thus far?
Man, I think it's just like a burst of energy to start something fresh from the ground up. Glenn and I, coming here together, being roommates, we joke, like building it brick by brick, and every day, we're developing the team, the culture. We got a brand new locker room that just got painted, and they put up shelves for us, and we're putting like our name tags up on it, and just the feelings of everything being fresh and brand new is just probably one of the coolest feelings for me.
Nice. Feels like you're starting a old video game that you already beat all the way through.
Yeah, and then what makes it even cooler is that we got so many guys that already know each other. Obviously, we're joining guys like Yoakum and having several guys all come together from Ryan last year. We already have a little bit of continuity, and then adding some of the top imports from across the league, guys like Luke and Xavier, and there's even some guys that are kind of underground right now, like Khaled, I would say is going to be special this season. I'm really excited about this group, man.
Going too fast, Jay. We're gonna get to that. Chill out. All right. What I wanted to ask you though, everybody's talking about the Nordic Storm stole the MVPs from Ryan Fire, and as you say, it was your birthday yesterday. Happy birthday! You got you and Glenn right now, who are like the older guys, the more experienced guy. How important is it for you to be leaders in this Nordic Storm team, and how have you been tackling that so far?
I think you used a really a crucial word right there, and that's experience. There's no substitute for experience in this world, and having guys that have already coached in the ELF with Coach Shoup and Coach Noble, having players that have won at the highest level that Europe has to offer, I think has just allowed us to get a little kickstart to this whole thing. And then combining some fresh Danish and Swedish homegrowns to the whole mix has been nice. And just having this opportunity to come together, get to know all my receivers and just work things out one day at a time and continue improving. That's what it's really all about. Glenn and I, obviously winning MVP, that's awesome and everything, but neither of us are accolades guys. We're winners, and what matters to us is ultimately doing what we can to help our team win. So whether that staying after practice and sweeping the shed, whether that be giving a guy a ride, whatever we got to do, we're going to do to try and win football games, man. That's what we're all about.
That's nice.
Absolutely. David, I'm going to jump to this question real quick just because I think it flows with what Mr. One Way Jay had just mentioned. We're talking about the Nordic Storm. Was it always the Nordic Storm, or were you considering other teams, or did you guys consider going back to the Rhine Fire? What went into that process mentally for you personally, whether it was going to go to a different team or were you consider to come back to the Fire?
Yeah, I mean, I think I wanted to go back to Rhine Fire. Having that continuity of playing 3 seasons there was great. Glenn, playing 2 seasons, we loved it. It wasn't even anything against those people or anything. It was just, I think, an opportunity that was too good to pass up. One of my also big missions in coming to Europe is spreading the love and opportunities and values and lessons that football can bring into your life. So now I kind of feel like there's not much more for us to accomplish with that in Germany right now, and at least in my lifetime. Football's grown there, the fandom, the community, everything is huge. Why not go up to a new region of Europe, expand football? This sport has given so much of my life, provided a university education, now traveling the world and playing the sport. So for me, coming to a new area was also a huge factor of it.
Nice. Well, I'm going to follow up with this one then, because I had this right after that one. Have you been a big part of planning and building this Nordic Storm team? Have you had a saying of the players that you wanted in, wanted out, stuff like that?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that I had a saying. I mean, ultimately, those decisions are made by Coach Shoup,
of course,
Pele, our GM and the owner. But
on us right now.
I didn't go into the darkness retreat and come out and tell everyone who to pick. But I would say my role's been like a consultant. Maybe not Aaron Rodgers, no demands or anything, but when they've asked my opinion on things, I've freely shared those. And I think, we have a group of guys that are all built for the same thing. We want to win football games and have high culture individuals here. We don't have any people that are difficult here. We have a lot of people that are all about one thing, and that's putting the team first. And I think that's ultimately, it's not the most talented team that wins. It's the team that comes together and plays for each other that wins ultimately.
Yeah, absolutely. And you think about all the new teams that have come into the league, and the ones that gel and develop that chemistry the fastest obviously have the most success. For example, obviously, with Madrid last year. And I know it was big for them when they got the win over Fire. Obviously, I know you were there. And that's going to be one of the challenges for you guys up top, even though it's a lot of familiar faces. It's getting those guys that don't have that ELF experience kind of up to speed, so to say. Let's reflect a little bit, man. Obviously, we've talked a lot throughout your career, multiple different podcasts and stuff. And you played in multiple different leagues. And obviously, you're one of the OGs that's been here since year one. But seeing the league from year 1 to year 5 now, what's your overall, look back on, how the league has developed and, what the league has become thus far?
Yeah, a lot of people are quick to comment on the things that aren't perfect about the league, but overall, I don't think I could have ever pictured that in 5 years the league would develop this fast. Not only the level of play, but everything around it. Having to deal with the zone now is huge. We've got a legit television international partner. The championship games the last 2 years have been, packed with fans and everything around that. It really starts to feel sort of like a Super Bowl in Europe. And then the level of play is just insane now. You look at some of the rosters that are going into this season and you go, there's not really any weaknesses. It's going to come down to who just makes plays in big moments, right? We're up to high level Division I football is what I would like to say. I don't know if we're quite to the SEC football, but we're getting close.
No, absolutely. And there's always been and I'll let David go, but just real quick, there's always been a position group that has been glaring, all right, that needs to be improved. And year 1, I personally feel like it was offensive linemen, and seeing year 5 the offensive linemen that are in the league. Obviously, you look at Vienna loses the tackle, they go and get Strofold. Frankfurt has Nielsen, Yannick, and Keanu. There are tons of talented O-linemen in the league. Even just looking at your homegrowns that you guys have on your roster, it's been cool seeing the league develop from year 1 to year 5 now.
Definitely,
yeah. 100%. It's not even just about the Nordic Storm. I feel like it's easier for you guys because you have the real Vikings, the proper Vikings blood on offensive line. So it's easy to get some huge guys. But it's cool to see other teams like the Mercs, for example, spending a lot of imports on the offensive line. I know you. Yes, it's for you, Jay.
We won't talk about it with Nordic. We won't talk about it with Nordic, but
yeah, but it's cool to see teams focusing on how important the offensive line is. Talking about imports, Jay, you said at the start you've signed a bunch of A's and E's, of course, because you got it for the season, and you signed a lot of big names. So, can I ask you 3 names you're most excited to have as A or E imports on the Nordic Storm with you?
Man, it's tough to cap it at 3. I could talk about all these guys for ages. We got a special group, man. I think I'll give you the first guy, Max Parkinson. I met him, I guess, about 2 years ago now. at university in England where I was doing my master's, and I was instantly like, holy shit, who is this guy, man? We need to get him to Ryan Fire. Called Tom Sula, called everybody. I was like, hey, take a look at this guy. He was like days from signing with another team in the ELF, and we pulled that recruiting battle off and were able to sway courses there, and he went there, and I think he was a freak athlete, former rugby guy, who's now developed his game into becoming a premier pass rusher. Our defensive scheme here at the Nordic Storm is a bit different than what Ryan Fire does. I'll wait for week 1 versus Jamal's Helvetic guards to let the reveal happen on the field, and you'll see what I mean by that. But, yeah, be ready for number 97. Max Parkey's going to be a handful this year. I think he could be looked at as one of the top defensive linemen in the whole league when all things are said and done. The second guy I got for you, I'm going to talk about my American receiver, Brendan Bolau. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. We just call him Big Bo. He's a route runner who went for 20-something touchdowns last year in Potsdam. Absolutely tore up the GFL. He's a proven guy all the way back to college. He became All-American out there at Bemidji State, and then came over to Europe and won. And just all he did was catch touchdowns last year and make plays. He's the type of guy that the first guy never gets him to the ground. He can break tackles. We can use him in the slot. We can use him outside. We can have him do a little bit of everything. He's very versatile, quick in and out of his breaks, great hands, really high football IQ. So I'm excited to play with him. He's another undercover guy. And then I guess if I had to pick a third guy, I'd probably go with Luke, actually, our safety. I mean, people probably know a little bit about him. Yeah, so underrated. I think it's maybe he doesn't necessarily look the part. Like the first time you see him, he walks up, you're like, man, who's this guy? This guy's a fucking safety? I don't know. And then he gets on the field, he puts his pads on, he starts looking a little bigger. You see him move around, he goes, he's a little faster than I thought, and then he's just got the IQ for the game. And that's such an underrated aspect where you can't quantify how well somebody knows football by looking at him. And he's a leader for us out there running around. He can play everything. So probably those three guys are the three guys that stood out the most to me. But as I said, those other six of the imports are looking good too. So give me a longer segment and I'll go more in depth.
No, absolutely. And you just mentioned like a couple guys just off the rip. I want to talk about, whenever I talk about the Nordic Storm, whether it's interviews or just with with people in general, the one thing that comes to mind is how deep the roster is. Like, I don't know another roster where the depth at receiver, tight end, running back. Literally, you can go in any personnel and you could go no huddle and come out in a million different types of formations. What is it about Shoop's offense? Because we've seen with his offense first year in Munich, more 49er-ish, right? More like run the ball, play action, drive the ball downfield. Trust me, I still have nightmares of Markel Castle going deep against Helvetic in that year. But what is it about Shoop's offense that is going to allow all these guys to get involved one way or another?
Well, I think you nailed it with your last sentence there. He's all about distributing the ball. And Tom Sewell used to say this about me. One of his favorite things about me as a quarterback is that I don't force the ball only to my American receiver, that I spread it around and throw it to the open guy, get through my reads. And I think our receiving core this year is going to be perfect to utilize my skill set and the way Coach Shoop calls plays, in that truly it's 5 weapons on every play. Glenn coming out of the backfield, or Alex, our backup running back. We got 2 really strong tight ends, and we got 4 or 5 receivers that are all really, really talented. So I think we're going to be a very balanced offense. We're going to run the ball. Don't get me wrong. We got Glenn back there, right? We're going to run the damn ball. But we've got a dynamic offensive line that's good at gap scheme, zone scheme. They can pass protect. We can play action. So I don't even have an answer for you exactly what we're going to look like, because in camp we've done so many different things. But I'm pretty impressed with how well they've picked up on the playbook, because it is a little bit more in-depth playbook than some of the homegrowns are probably used to playing in. But I think, as the season goes on, we're going to continue to get better and better and better as some of these in-depth things start to become routine for us. So, May 18th down there in Switzerland, we hope to be prepared and ready to go and
go easy, man.
Let all these weapons loose.
We're trying to turn the page down there, man. We're trying to turn the page down there, man. We're trying to get some guys back.
There we go.
Just wait till the second game.
Right.
So you got a question?
Yeah. Well, it's not even my question. This one is from the guys from Fourth Down Fiasco. I'm sure you're familiar with Danny, Jordan, and Tanner out there. So he told me to ask you if you had to choose one quarterback to challenge in a one-on-one QB drill, who would you like to take on from the ELF?
Ooh. Like who would I want to face? Like if I could have that matchup, or who do I think is the other best guy?
Who do you want to face? Who you want to call out?
Okay. Give me Connor, man. I think Connor's my Florida guy, and he's a cool, funny guy. But I know behind that he's a fierce competitor as well, and we would be a good matchup for each other. I like him a lot, man. He's a guy that I would call a friend, and I would love to have a little dual 18 versus 18 matchup.
Nice. We gotta figure a way to get that going then.
Most definitely. And shout out to Connor Miller. I love the signing. You know, I think a lot of people were kind of not color guard, but just like, that's interesting. But when you look into it, that's actually a great signing for the Raiders. My last question before we get into trivia, unless David had another question, and it's similar to the one I was just asked, but I'm gonna kind of phrase it a little different. So it's written, you're the most decorated quarterback in the ELF, right? And as of right now, I think there's only one quarterback currently in the league that you've lost to, and that's Jacob Sullivan, right? Wow. So as the league continues to grow and develop, you know, what other quarterbacks outside of Jacob have you had great matchups against?
Currently in the league or in the history of my career?
Let's go currently in the league.
Man, that's a good question, man. I think first of all, your stat surprises me. The only Jacob is the only guy that's beat me in the league. That's interesting.
As of right now, yeah. Zach's not in the league. I think when you came in for Ryan Fire after they parted ways with Matt, I think there was a couple losses to Hamburg, but Cisse's not in the league. Not a lot of losses on your resume, man.
Yeah,
that's true. You're making me feel good now. You're buttering me up, so I take it easy on me at the same time. Who do I guess Ben or Riley? I would be the two guys. I think that they're both going to be on really talented teams. They got great weapons. Both have schedules that I think are favorable. So I think in the end they're probably going to both be playoff teams. Probably Riley, I guess, due to that playing him in the championship once and then the semifinal last year. So back to back, sort of in our minds, really decisive games. And we know Stuttgart's going to be talented. They just keep getting better every year under Newman and Pastorino and Brenner. So they've got great coaching staff and good homegrown. So, yeah, probably Riley if I had to pick one.
Absolutely. Shout out to Riley Hennessy.
Jay, we talked about the imports on the last question, of course. What are three actually homegrown? So Sweden or Denmark?
Nice. Yeah, exactly. We get two countries, which is kind of nice. I think that's one of our advantages is the fact that so many of our homegrowns were imports in the league previously. So although we only have 10 imports per team, it's almost like we've got 20 or something. It's pretty special. I would say the first guy that just pops, Ludwig Myron.
Yeah.
I'm at physio right now. It's probably my face looks a little crazy. And I'm still recovering from the hit he put on me last year. If you want to go back and see one of the hardest hits, maybe insert the video here. Glenn was supposed to protect for me, left me out to dry. Ludwig comes down. We're doubling Kyle Kitchens, and we forgot about Ludwig. And my neck is still sore to this day. I'm still getting a little rehab for it. But so Ludwig, he just sets. He plays with an intensity that's different than other guys, even at practice.
It's a cheat code to have it homegrown.
Yeah, exactly. He got recognized on that top 100 list, being ranked pretty high. So he stands out initially. The second guy, I won't count Joachim. I played with him forever. I would give Joachim some love. I would say on our offensive line, the guy who has surprised me the most. Now, we've had a lot of good offensive linemen, but the guy who surprised me the most is Love Larson, and he comes from Stockholm. He's a guy that's never played in the ELF. I just found out he's like 150 kilos, which shocks me because for being a guy that size, he still moves effortlessly, and he's going to be special this year, an impact lineman that no one has heard about. So there's other linemen that are really good, but Love is he's been a surprise. I didn't know who the guy was. We get into camp, and a few reps in, I instantly knew who he was.
He's got some beef as an interior lineman. I know. He played for the Mean Machine.
There you go. Okay, so you knew about him
He sounds
before
like
me,
a mean
Jamal.
machine. He sounds like a mean machine himself. At 150 moving, like, jeez.
Yeah. And then my third homegrown, I'm going to cheat here, and I'm going to talk about all my homegrown receivers because we didn't bring in a European receiver because we felt like our homegrown receiving core was so good. We've got Eddie Taborda, who's from Sweden, fast, dynamic, really good route runner. We've got Simon Fons, who went for 1,500 yards with Potsdam, already proven himself in Europe. Now gets to come back home to his hometown of Copenhagen, baller. Jacob Green, the Danish League MVP, silky smooth, the Green Goblin, Glenn calls him. And then there's Theo Landstrom, who is obviously, you got the Barcelona jersey behind you. Connor Miller's favorite target. He can do a little bit of everything. Man, screw that. I'm going to add one more guy. Then we got Jonathan Steinhauer, my tight end, returning from Baylor. So I feel like I've got 5 homegrown weapons that, man, just a few years ago I would have been praying for stuff like this. So we're going to spread the ball around and keep them all happy is going to be my hardest challenge this year.
Nice. Love that. Love the answer.
Goal for the Fire from the 8. Clark looking left. Throws that way. Wide open. Touchdown. First and 10. Clark to the right side this time. Quick screen, and here he goes all the way for the touchdown. Clark looking left side, throwing, and complete. That is another Ryan Fire touchdown.
This is the tenable tower, okay? As you can see, you have 3 green lives right there. You need to name all top 10 wide receiver based on how many yards you've thrown to them. Okay? And if you name somebody out of the top 10, I'll just take out a life.
Okay. All right. So should I get started? Are we ready to go?
Glenn don't know shit.
Yeah, Glenn won't get him. Glenn will just put himself like dial on. All right, number 1, we're going to go with, I already know who number 1 is. Come on, that's my boy. Roby, 86, still rolling. Nathaniel Robitaille, got to be.
That's number 2 actually on the list.
What? That's shocking. Okay.
Yes,
number 1.
Yes,
who would be number 1 then if it's not Roby?
No.
We're going to have to go with Mahungu then? Mahungu?
That's, let me check. Number 3.
Okay. It'll come to me. I'm leaving somebody out. This is really bad. Adria, Botella, Marino, Sanchez, Gomez, Hermano.
Is that his full name?
Is that multiple players or is
He's got like 5 last names.
White?
I always add a few every time I mention him. Adria is for sure on there.
Adria comes in at number 7, boss man.
That's number 7. Yep.
Let's go with Timothy Canoodle next.
Ooh, that's a good pull. He comes in at number 5.
Nice.
People forget about Timothy too.
Another Florida boy. I miss Tim, although he counted as a European in the league. Yeah, right. We don't make those decisions. Zume does. Let's go with Harlan Quofi. Is he my number 1?
Ooh, number 1. Kofi comes in at 1.
The number 1.
Harlan, I'm really sorry, Harlito. How would I ever forget you? I'm so sorry, sir.
He's number 1 because he got 3 years of like high production. So all sums up,
and he's just a dog, 100% dog. Can't be guarded.
Yeah.
Steve Smith the league.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a funny guy. All right, let's go. Another like underrated guy.
Okay.
Let's go with Willie P.
Willie P comes in at number 6.
Yep.
Okay. There we go. Shout out Prague. Matt Bresington, Willie P.
Nice.
Let's go with how many would Flo have? Let's go with Yannick Lorks.
Yannick Lorks. No.
That is, I think about 12 or 13. You're right out. First life gone.
All right. It's got to be the Schleezy then. Justin Schleesinger.
Hey,
that's number 8.
Okay. That was another underrated one.
I'm telling you what, I am surprised right now. For all the receivers you've had to remember all these guys, I'm pleasantly surprised right now.
I wonder if Glenn is on the list. I don't know. Does Glenn have more than Sleazy? I don't think so. Who could be 4? 4 is like this. This is hurting me that I'm leaving somebody off the list. Who did I play with at Ryan for 2? Maybe let's go with Florian Eichhorn.
9.
Ooh, that's 9. Yeah,
Okay, there we go.
Number
Another good
9.
pull. Okay, who was my top receiver at Hamburg? Would anybody have had numbers to be in the top 10? Let's go with JCMC, Jean-Claude Moreno.
Number 10.
All right, now we're down to number 4. This is tough. How can I?
Num-
Who's this giving me? After Mahungu,
I thought-
before Canoodle.
I thought 4 would be easier than 10.
I thought so too. I thought you would get him right
4 would
away.
be easier than 10.
It's got to be a Rhine Fire guy. Let's go with Tim Sauerland.
Nope.
That's my last.
Jay.
Whoever this is,
you
this
got
is
one
bad.
life left.
It's somebody obvious, isn't it?
You got one
It
life
is
left.
somebody very obvious. Think about who gets the most receiving yards usually. Come
Very
on.
helpful there. Thank you so much. Think about who gets a lot of receivers.
No, you said you said
American
Gene
receiver.
Thompson. I told you that you spread the ball around, but you don't
Right.
always give it to the American receiver. But the guy that usually gets the most yard, it's an American receiver, right?
Right. I had Roby. I had Willie. Oh my gosh, Kelvin McKnight. KJ, come on, Kelvin. How did I forget about
Of
Kelvin?
course.
Oh, I'm so sorry, sir. Pink speaker. He's always listening to like some Alicia Keys, just real calm, cool guy that, he's just so smooth.
yeah?
Sometimes forget about him. Didn't mean to do that to you, KJ. I love you.
By the way, number 11, right outside of the list by less than 10 yards. Oh, no, actually 12 yards. It's Glenn Tonga.
I just missed it.
Not even a wide receiver. Crazy stuff.
Just missed it. He's going to be asking for catches this season.
I think we should check in with Glenn and ask him what he thinks about the fact that he's not in my top 10 receivers. Let's see if we can find him anywhere. Is he sleeping?
Where's Glenn?
Glenn, wake up. Sir, you didn't make the
Glenn.
top 10. How does that
Tell
feel?
me what? Tell me what?
All-time
You didn't
receiving
make
Jadrian
Jadrian's
Clark
top
yards.
10.
Yeah, that's tripping. That's crazy. I'm like number
Why he
2
don't
for
throw you the
sure.
ball, man?
Oh, you would this again? Oh yeah.
You know what he said? He said he throw it to you, but you be dropping it.
Oh,
He said
After this
he
year,
said
Glenn's going to be number 1 all time.
okay. He's playing whiteout this year then?
Hey, you remember the Munich 23 offense? How many times Tommy caught the ball? Glenn's going to be catching the ball this year. Just be ready for it.
That is true. That is true. Hey, I got another question for you because it's something that kind of I thought about when I was thinking about a different sport, but it kind of goes hands in hands with like obviously your experience just in Europe, not even ELF, just in all of Europe, but with the amount of success that you've recently had. What's more pressure? Is it chasing the success or defending it?
Hold on, I didn't understand that question. Did you ask me about pressure? Did you ask me about pressure? We don't feel pressure, Jamal. We apply pressure. Come on now.
Hey,
Let's go.
I like that answer. All right. And the only reason why I thought about it because I was watching like a baseball game or something like that, and they were talking about Juan Soto and the money he got and how he got off to a slow start, but like, leading up to it, he was one of the top players in the league, and now that he's got the money, is he falling off a little bit? I was like, no, that's actually a good point. It doesn't even have to be about money, just success in general. People get success and like don't even know how to handle it. But
life is mostly mental. If you want me to give you a real answer, here's how I look at it. If I'm at Ryan last year going into the season, man, everybody's got to knock us off the top of the mountain. We're on top. You got to take it from us, right? Put the pressure on them. And now that I'm at Nordic, it's like, we're a little bit more hungry. We haven't won one yet. We want to prove everybody wrong. They got to stop us, So my mindset is whatever situation I'm in, the other guy has it worse. That's how I'm always thinking.
I hear. Hey, semifinals. Y'all fought through it. Fought through it against the Surge.
Going into the game, I knew we had a few injuries. I knew the roster was talented. I knew we had to go in and play them in their home environment. They had all the chips on their side. But, hey, it is what it is. You know what I mean? We're not going to go in scared. We're going to use that as more motivation. And if we got all the chips on our side, as I said, hey, they got to come and take it from us. We're playing with house money, So that's how I look at it always.
Most definitely, brother. You got anything else, WD?
No, I think we're good. We went through everything, no? Oh, yeah, actually, what is your first memory of the ELF? Take us back to 2021. We know you've played European ball before, so it's unfair to ask you like first memory of Europe because it's not your first memory of Europe, but it's a higher level of football for sure. So what's your first memory of the ELF?
First of all, great question that no one has ever asked me in 5 years. That you pulled that one out of your hat to close the interview. All right, I'll give you some background. Let's take it all the way back to 2020 when I'm sitting in Vienna right after our season had concluded there, having dinner with Coach Kusler, who was with Paris the last couple of years. Now he's back in Vienna, and Andrew Spencer, our American DB import. And Andrew's saying, these Austrian teams, they'd whoop any German team. These German guys think they're so good, da-da-da. And I'm like, well, I just came from Germany. Germany's pretty good. I understand that there's a little rivalry here, though. I wish they could play each other. And we're sitting around joking around about how I wish there was just a European league where everybody played each other every week and we could finally end this debate. About 2-3 days later, I get a call from Coach Namington and Patrick Azume. Hey, we're going to be starting an ELF league. They break it all down for me. We'd love to have you come up to Hamburg and discuss being a part of it and kind of see what this would look like. So I go up there, I end up signing. I think I was the first player signed to the whole ELF. I signed all the way back in December of 2020. So yeah, that's kind of my first memory. I remember coming to Hamburg for the first time, seeing the vision, and then boom, we come out. I don't remember exactly the first day we played. Maybe it was like June 1st or something, but I remember that it was like 6 months later, almost to the day, and like, whoa, all this came to fruition. They got billboards around the end zone. It looks professional. It's on TV. They've got the yellow first down lines. Like, just the progress alone from a production value was like night and day. And for me, that's when it finally felt real. To go from talking about it in Vienna to just a few months later living out exactly what they wanted to make happen. It was pretty special.
That's a heck of an answer. And also, I love that the GOAT of the league, because everybody knows Jay is the GOAT of the league. Ain't no debate about that. The GOAT of the league is the first guy that got signed to the league. That's amazing. That's just absolutely pure poetry.
Well, I think there still is some debate, but I guess we'll just have to handle that on the field.
I hear that. Hey, I actually got one more thing. It's something I kind of want to do for David. Didn't know I was going to do this, and something I want to do because obviously you gave us a great interview. All right, so you answer this question, you get it right. I'll give a random fan up there 2 tickets to your first home game. All right.
We like that.
If you get this question right, all right. So
Glenn's getting
Nordic
excited
Storm,
in the back too.
For the Nordic Storm, who was the first homegrown that they signed?
First homegrown. It's most people would guess Joachim because his dad's the general manager, but I don't think it was Joachim.
Triple, bro.
Can I bring in a guest answer here? Can I confirm with my committee here?
You can use the lifeline. Yeah, you can use the
lifeline. What do we think here, Glenn? What do we think it's in?
I think it was Oliver Tribler. I think.
I have no clue, so I'm gonna have to lean towards you. Oliver, it could be. Who else could have?
I think it was Lud.
Check Instagram if you have to. I'll give you guys a chance. I want to give some.
No. Instagram isn't in order. Though. Instagram isn't in order of people we signed. Instagram's not
first announced. Let's go with. Go
announce on Instagram.
That was Joachim.
No, Joachim wasn't the first, and I don't want to cheat. I got to give you a real answer. Was it who came to the championship? Oliver Tribble came to the championship.
Simon Fons.
Ooh, Simon Fons. Let's go with Simon. That's a good guess.
You said Simon Fons? Believe it or not, I think it's Joachim, but because Joachim was, I guess his dad was the general manager, we won't count him, so we'll count Simon because I know he was next to be signed. So I'll work it out. I'll work it out with David D. I'll give a random fan 2 tickets to your first home game.
Shot the fan.
There we go. Hey, either way, 2 fans are going to be winners, even if we slightly got that wrong. You guys are winning at home. We love it.
Yes, sir.
Not.
Yeah, Glenn, you want to talk a little bit more? What you want to say to the people, Glenn? Also, there's one more lineman we got to mention. We got big Fabricius here.
That's Captain Suckercrant's third name right.
Not only is he an amazing right tackle, but he's also a great physiotherapist, getting us right, getting my neck right from that hit, keeping Glenn nice and strong so he can rush for 30 more touchdowns.
The hairless Glenn Tunga right.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, AJ, we appreciate you coming on, man. It's always good chopping up with you, and obviously, always your special guest there in the back too. We appreciate you coming on, man, to the insides and just talking ball. And we're three weeks away roughly from the start of the season. It's going to be an exciting one. Go easy when you get to Switzerland, man. There's no need to show out week one. There's no need to show out week one. Just get the win and go back up north. All right.
No promises there, but I appreciate you guys and everything you do. The league wouldn't be the same without people covering it. We need what you guys bring to the table. You guys do an awesome job. And go Storm, baby.
As a closer, we ask this to every player we have on. As you all know, the fans are the number one thing in a franchise. If you don't have the fans out at the stadium, the team and the franchise cannot thrive in the league. So, Jadrian Clark, a little love for the Copenhagen fans. Get them out to the stadium.
Yeah, man. I mean, we represent both Denmark and Sweden. So everybody in Copenhagen, Malmo, wherever you are, Stockholm, I don't care. Come on down, be loud, support us. We got a cool stadium. I've been able to check it out a little bit. They're going to put on some really cool pregame stuff, hopefully get the tailgating vibes going. We've got the cheerleaders, we got the fireworks, and hopefully we score a lot of touchdowns for you. We're gonna put on a show for you.
All right. Great stuff. Thank you so much for coming along and for bringing Glenn, of course.
Appreciate you guys.